1 star away from a perfect Town Hall 15 war? Let's get into it. Welcome back, my friends, to the Clash Tips YouTube channel. 74 stars in an almost all Town Hall 15 war. And these guys are using attack strategies that hopefully will work in Champs 1. They're definitely principles that we can use. Now, this is at the end of the Royal Ghost season. And just to check this base, this is actually our top Town Hall 14. So from 1 to 20, we're all Town Hall 15s. We are using Royal Ghosts, as I said, but we're also using a lot of double clone Super Archer blimps and a few other attack strategies that seem to be working really well. Starting out this 3-star parade is Shoddy with the good guys. When you're doing your Super Archer clone blimp, you have to tome it in, because if not, you're likely to be baited. I can't emphasize this enough. If you don't use the Warden's Tome on this blimp, you're likely to go down early, and we're likely to see lots of 1-stars because of that. This entry was actually baited. If you see, he actually landed on the tornado trap, but he was still able to get his troops in there and completely decimate the core. Now, Shoddy did use Royal Ghost to clean up, and let's all admit, Royal Ghosts are completely OP. They are completely broken. They don't need to be in the game long term. I am glad that they're only here for 2 weeks. But if you can see through this bottom corner, you could actually bring in something like an E-Titan Smash to come through the bottom section to sweep through with healers, maybe do a small queen walk to make sure that those E-Titans go the correct direction. But I think you're going to be seeing a lot of this style attack coming up in CWL, this CWL, next CWL. We've also been seeing a strong Sui hero entry down in that bottom section that I just showed you earlier, and then sweeping through the backside with kind of a cleanup Lalo. We've had some guys do that. We've had some guys who are using hogs to great effect. So there are multiple attack styles that you can use to actually clean up the base. Heroes alone are so strong at Town Hall 15. And I really think that that's the reason that the monolith was brought in by Supercell, is because, I mean, look at that king. Went down so fast. The Royal Champion's about to go down. Only the Queen is able to save this attack. Of course, he has the Royal Ghost on the backside. But all of these attack strategies start off with the double clone Super Archer blimp. You're going to be bringing 5 invisibility spells, 1 rage, 2 clones, and that's pretty much going to take up all of your spell space, but you're going to decimate the core. This works really well with a centralized Town Hall, and we're going to show you another attack at the end that utilizes a Super Archer blimp, so stay tuned to that. Next attack that we're going to be watching is by Curly, and of course Curly's doing Curly stuff. He comes in straight with Blizzard Lalo. And Blizzard Lalo is another attack that we're seeing a lot of success with. And again, this is just your typical Blizzard Lalo, finding an anchoring AD that you can send your blimp in on, and then raging up the Super Wizards, invising them so that we can get all the value that you can get. He's able to target a lot of these core defenses, and the reason that these defenses are so clustered together is because of that rage spell tower and trying to gain as much advantage as possible as the defender. But that sword cuts 2 ways, because as the offensive player with a lot of defenses that are clustered together around that rage spell tower, you can bring in a blizzard and have great effect with that blizzard. So this CWL, be looking for bases that you can use an attack strategy where you're bringing in a blizzard, and we've had players who have brought up hybrid. We've had players who have brought in super bowlers. We've had players who have brought in Titan Smash in order to clean up the base. The attack of choice by Curly is Lalo, and Lalo seems to be working really well. And granted, Lalo's not easy, but if you follow the steps to Lalo, which is take out a portion of that pie with your blizzard, especially if you can take down the Town Hall. If you can't take down the Town Hall, then take out a section of the base that you can take down with the blizzard, and then Sui the Town Hall with your heroes. If you can do that, then you can essentially have a cleanup Lalo on the backside, and this is just an example of that as Curly sends in his Lalo on this backside after his heroes get all that value. Unfortunately, that Royal Champion was not able to get that multi-target Inferno down, but he plans for that, sending in backside loons. He has his main pack of loons that's going through the base little by little, putting down his haste spells, putting down his freezes where necessary. And I want you to look right here. Right there, you can see that that Inferno Tower was targeted by those back-end loons, which actually saved his attack. So number one, look for bases that you can do a double clone Super Archer Blimp on. Bring those 5 invisibility spells and the rage spell. Number two, look for bases that you can do a safer blizzard on, and that's typically if you can anchor that hound into an air defense that's close to the town hall, or that's close to a big cluster of defenses where you can draw out the CC and then you can Sui into the town hall. If you're really good and your name is Stars, then you can Lalo over the top of the town hall. That's not something that I can do, so it's not something that I'm going to necessarily recommend, but this is another example of something that is actually working at Town Hall 15, and Curly does a beautiful job. This next attack is done by our in-house Queen Charge Hybrid Specialist, C-Man himself. He does this under the same principles as Town Hall 14, and it seems to be working really well whenever you see the right base for it. So he's queen charging into the Town Hall. Sometimes it takes a special approach. Sometimes it takes a little bit of cunning in order to do it. And I love how he sent in that super wall breaker, and that super wall breaker was able to activate that rage tower. That's a bit of next level, next IQ, 1000 IQ thinking. But again, set up your queen charge so that way she can go into the town hall. Make sure that she stays safe. Make sure you put in your Coco Loons, blah, blah, blah. We all know this, right? With Town Hall 14 Hybrid, it was the exact same way. The difference is that he set up his hybrid early. The reason being is because of this monolith right here. Because that monolith would absolutely tear up his queen, he wants to make sure that his hogs and his hybrid are targeted by that monolith before any of his big high hit point heroes are targeted by that monolith. That monolith is not able to do a ton of damage on a lot of smaller troops, and so making sure that that monolith targets the smaller troops, such as the hogs, such as the miners, before your queen is actually targeted, before your queen is in danger, will ensure that you're able to get through the base with Queen Charge Hybrid. Now, the strategy is going to be more difficult if you see invisibility spell towers or if you see poison spell towers. You can heal through the poison spell towers, but you might have to tome through that. It's going to slow down your hybrid and might not work as well. So look at the bases that you're going to be going up against this CWL. Try to determine if this is a strategy that might work for you. Typically bases where you can get to the town hall pretty quickly with your queen charge, and where you can get to the monolith pretty quickly with your hybrid, it's going to be successful. So look for bases where you can queen charge the town hall and then you can hybrid into the monolith, get down that eagle as quickly as possible, healing over the bombs, bomb towers, traditional hybrid stuff, then it just might work, and C-Man does an excellent job in showing us how to do it. This last attack is going to be done by Battle Dad, and he also uses the double clone Super Archer Blimp under the Warden's Tome, but he does not do it in the beginning. Now, granted, this attack uses the Royal Ghost strategy. As I said in the beginning, we all know that Royal Ghosts are completely OP, but if you can figure out a way to get your heroes in very similar to how this attack ends up, he starts out with Royal Ghosts, picking off everything on the outside, then he's going to bring in his heroes, and after he brings in his heroes, he's going to send his blimp over the top of his heroes and is going to tome it in so that way it makes sure that those super archers reach its target. And once the super archers come out, once they are double cloned, they completely tear up the core of the base. I know that the double clone Super Archer Blimp, which we're going to see right here as he sends in his heroes, again toming that blimp over the top, and then once it lands, waiting for the initial troops to come out, and then as soon as all of those goblins and barbs come out to trigger the traps, he's going to throw down the double clone. So wait on the double clone. Don't throw down the double clone early, because you want those clones to clone the super archers. You don't want them to clone the goblins. Otherwise, you're going to have 50 million goblins that are running around. They're not going to do a lot. And I love here how he held out on his last invisibility spell, because he recognized that he had gotten all that his goal was. He had gotten pretty much everything that he wanted to get with those super archers. And he recognized that that last invisibility spell would actually work better with his heroes, which it did right here, as we can see, perfect example. But as I was saying, I know that the double clone Super Archer Blimp uses a ton of spells, but I would love to see the recall spell used, where we use heroes such as the Royal Champion come in, take out a portion of the base, recalled, put back in, taking out another portion of the base, recalled, put back in with the main push, something like that. So I'm going to be super interested to see what happens. But beautiful attacks by these guys, an almost perfect Town Hall 15 war, Super proud of these guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully it gave you some ideas. This CWL is going to be tough, not only for attackers, but for defenders who are just using old Town Hall 14 bases and throwing in the Town Hall 15 defenses. I do think it's going to get more difficult down the road. Of course it is, as base builders pick up on all of these strategies. But give us a like if this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be putting out more Town Hall 15 content, and I'm super excited to do that. Until then, we'll see you guys next video.